I think we'll go ahead and get started, but please continue to eat. I'm Kathleen Lawson, the Executive Director at Economics Arkansas. I was so thrilled when 18 months ago I was asked to lead this organization, and it's been an honor to serve ever since. I like to imagine running an organization a bit like running a relay race. More of a marathon than a sprint, but a goal nonetheless of one day crossing the finish line. Think for just a moment about a relay. The baton must be passed from one runner to another, or in my analogy, from one leader to another. New runners bring new energy and get the baton closer to the finish line. Our organization had an incredibly strong start 57 years ago when Dr. Arch Ford appointed Bessie B. Moore as our organization's first director. She ran the first leg of our long battle to integrate economic education into every pre-K-12 classroom. Bessie believed in the train the trainer multiplier effect. If we can train teachers, think of how many students we can reach. We've continued to press forward in our efforts. I sincerely believe that the strength of our organization is due to those that blazed the path before me, so I want to take just a moment to acknowledge two of our former executive directors that are here in the room today. We have Sue Owens and Sonia Murphy in the back. Thank y'all for being here. Together, they served for 22 years, so thanks for your endurance in that part of the race. We all know there is more to a race than who is carrying the baton. There are so many people in this room who motivate, inspire us. So for any board members, center directors, master economics teachers, or former and current staff members, would you all please stand and be recognized? All across the room. Thank you. I do want to take a moment to recognize Mr. Jim Wooten, who we will formally acknowledge later in the program, for his 40 years of service on the board, which is incredible. So thank you for your service. Similar to the relay race that we run at Economics Arkansas, so to speak, our honoree today was passed the baton in 1986, making him just the third chairman, president, and CEO since 1933. Warren Stevens has elevated Stevens, Inc. to a well-recognized, much-respected international financial services firm and truly exemplifies the characteristics of a leader for free enterprise. We are pleased to honor you today for your distinguished work. Thank you. Though he's been a longtime supporter of Economics Arkansas, we really saw our relationship grow last year. The Stevens family has been so generous to support programs like the stock market game. But last year, Stevens, Inc. provided the support required for us to implement a pre-K-12 free enterprise education track. This program starts with our earliest learners with our itty-bitty economics program, which I just love, and it goes through high school. One of our new programs is called Inspire, which is a 6-hour teacher professional development that uses the videos from the This Is Capitalism series to introduce middle and high school students to the fundamentals of the free enterprise system and talk about entrepreneurship. Thanks to the support of Stevens for this program, we've trained 792 teachers since last June, over 41 workshops. So that's about 38,000 students have been exposed to the free enterprise system because of this program alone. So thank you so much for that support. Yeah, I think that's a clap. So in a sense, there's a finish line every year. It's really each May when a new set of graduates walks across the stage that we can ask ourselves, have we done our part to ensure that these students are equipped to handle what's next? Through our teacher trainings, curriculum, and programs, have these students developed the skills to make sound decisions? Do they have an improved understanding of our free market and domestic economy, as well as the global economy? Are these students motivated to invest in their human capital? Do students exhibit financially responsible behavior in regards to budgeting, saving, and investing? For many graduates, we would like to say yes, but there is still more work to be done. Events like this help us to do this work more often and in a more concentrated fashion. So I want to extend our gratitude to all of the sponsors in the room who've helped us. By supporting this event, you're helping us train more teachers on how to integrate real-life economics into the classroom. My heartfelt gratitude goes to Curtis Jeffries, there you are, and to Randy Zook, who's up there, at Rob Bell, and any of our sponsors who helped, who purchased tables or who helped to secure sponsors for this event. You all helped us surpass our goal of $100,000 for this event today, so thank you so much. Now on to some fun stuff. I want you to hear from two of our educators and students who are quite passionate about economic literacy. These are our customers, so you all are helping to support the work that we're doing with them. First, you'll hear from Cassie Harris, a non-traditional educator who has become a champion for our Inspire sessions and also a trainer for us. Cassie teaches business education at Lakeside High School in Hot Springs. After Cassie, you'll have the pleasure to hear from some of our end users, our students. Lisa Barham, who's one of our Master Economics teachers, will be joined on stage by three of her students from Baker Elementary, Pranjal Arukar, Nehemiah Love, and Lindley Shirley. They've got a special treat for y'all. So we're so excited for you all to hear from them, and I'm going to invite Cassie to the stage now.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Kathleen. Like she mentioned, my name is Cassie Harris, and I'm with Lakeside High School in Hot Springs. I want to give you a little background of how I got involved with Economics Arkansas. It's been pretty interesting since I'm not a traditional teacher. This is not my background. My background is actually in human resources management, where I spent 9 years in the public and private sector. And for community involvement, I decided to volunteer at local high schools or local schools in the community and just go in and speak to the students. And initially I went in to talk with them about resume writing, interviewing, soft skills, just branding, different things like that. And I decided at that moment, by volunteering with that, that teaching was actually fun, and I thought that I would really enjoy doing that. So I took some steps, did some research, and obtained my non-traditional teaching license. And I had the opportunity to teach my very first year here in Little Rock with the Little Rock School District. And my first year of teaching, I taught 7th grade. And I'm telling you, standing in a room full of 12 to 13-year-old kids is absolutely terrifying. Absolutely more terrifying than standing in front of you guys. But I'm here today to tell you the tale. So after that, getting to know my kids and working with them, I knew that this is what I love to do, and I made the right decision. So I'm originally from the Hot Springs area, so I had the opportunity to come back and teach Lakeside High School. And when they gave me the position, they told me that I would be teaching economics and personal finance. And the last time I took those courses were in college, and frankly, I was terrified. And the first image that popped in my head was Ben Stein from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, if you've seen that movie. I did not want to be that teacher. I wanted to make sure that the kids were having fun. So my friend, she told me about Economics Arkansas, and she told me about this Real Econ conference, and she said it's a great conference, you really need to attend. And so I was like, hey, I need to prepare for this year, so why not? And I'm telling you that that conference was a game changer, and that was the most amazing experience for me. In those 2 days, I got so much information. I gained so many new relationships, meeting other educators across the state, and just the resources that Economics Arkansas was able to provide is absolutely fantastic. So taking that information away from the conference, it gave me more confidence and made me feel more prepared. And I felt at that point I'd be way cooler than Ben Stein at that moment. So I was ready for the year. So the first year teaching econ, Again, I took my resources from Economics Arkansas. I was introduced to the stock market game. Thought it'd be a fun way to engage my students and teach them about investing. So last year, I introduced over 200 students to the stock market game. I had one team that even placed in the top of the region and got to attend the awards luncheon last spring. This year, I have introduced an additional 200 plus students to the stock market game, and I have students who have came back from last year. They enjoyed it so much they wanted to play the year-long game. So I currently have a set of students who are participating just for fun. So in addition to teaching economics and personal finance, last year that was what I taught primarily. I was, again, given the task to teach new courses. Said, hey, Cassie, you'll be teaching entrepreneurship and management this year. It's like, yay, that sounds like a lot of fun. So again, I was faced with that dilemma, having to prepare, but I knew exactly where I was going to go to get my resources. And again, Economics Arkansas did not disappoint. I went to the Real Econ Conference again, met some more fantastic people, gathered a lot more awesome resources, and I want to say thank you to Marsha Masters. Hi, Marsha, if you could wave to everyone. She introduced me to some additional resources, the Inspire lessons, which go with Mr. Stevens' creation of This is Capitalism videos. And after I attended that training, I knew that I wanted to try those in my class. They seemed very engaging, very informative, very fun, and I knew my students would love them. So This is Capitalism and the Inspire lessons they're fantastic resources, and they highlight successful entrepreneurs, both past and present. And my students have had the opportunity to learn about these individuals and understand the trials and the hardships some of them have experienced, how individuals are capable of overcoming failure to make something great, and how entrepreneurs contribute to the health of our economy. And I received positive feedback from my students. They really enjoyed these lessons. They were engaged. And this also helped them think outside the box and create some innovative ideas. And I feel like these lessons have also helped them shape their ideas and give them the confidence to take their dreams and ideas and turn them into reality. And I've had students, currently, they've come to me and they've expressed interest in starting their own businesses one day. And you can see the confidence that they have by doing that. So, in conclusion, I just want to thank Mr. Stevens for investing in our students with the creation of This is Capitalism. And I want to give a huge thank you to Marsha Masters and Economics of Arkansas for providing exceptional support to not only me, but educators across the state of Arkansas. So thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for having us at this amazing event. We are very glad to be here. My name is Lisa Barham. I'm the instructional coach at Baker Elementary School in Pulaski County Special School District. We are very proud to be an economics themed school. Our students, kindergarten through 5th grade, learn economics and personal finance concepts. Our teachers integrate economics in all content areas, and every Friday we have a dedicated economics block. Economics Arkansas supports our teachers by having trainings and providing resources that help our teachers be able to teach engaging lessons. So we love economics at Baker, but we also love to read, and one of our favorite book characters is Amelia Bedelia. Now, for those of you who don't know Amelia Bedelia, she is a very funny housekeeper who is very literal and has a hard time with the English language. When she's given a chore list of 3 things to do, she's supposed to dust the furniture, she's supposed to draw the drapes and dress the turkey. She literally does just that. She sprinkles dust all over the furniture. She gets her sketch pad and her markers and she draws the most beautiful picture of the drapes. And when she's asked to do the turkey, she runs to get needle and thread and makes the loveliest little suit for that turkey. Now today, I have brought with me 3 amazing students who are not confused at all by the language of economics.
My name is Pranjal. I'm in 2nd grade.
My name is Lindley. I'm in 4th grade.
And my name is Nehemiah, and I'm in 5th grade.
We would like to offer our 2 cents about why economics education is important, especially in the elementary school. Hey, Pranjal, does money really burn a hole in your pocket?
Thankfully, money does not really burn a hole in my pocket, but I am a consumer in our market economy. I use money to buy goods and services that satisfy my wants. For example, when I desire to be stylish, a haircut, shoes, or clothes would satisfy my want. The haircut I get is a service. The shoes and clothes are goods. I am also a consumer at my school. I use the baker money that I earn for good behavior to buy toys, which are goods. The best thing I get to buy at school is Main Event, which is a service the school provides that satisfies my desire to have fun. It was hard to make the choice to save my money and give up the opportunity to buy toys at the store. But I did, so I could have enough money to buy the ticket for Main Event.
Lindley, is your class really rolling in the dough?
Although it would be fun, my class really didn't roll in the dough. But we did earn a lot of money because we started a business. We were real entrepreneurs at the Baker Bazaar in December. We had the idea to produce marshmallow shooters because we wanted kids to be able to have fun. And to our surprise, we sold out. The marshmallow shooters were in high demand. Our expenses to buy the resources were $40. We sold our products to consumers in the marketplace for $5. So our revenue was $125. That gave us a profit of $85. My class has all kinds of good ideas, and now we are just working on convincing our teacher. An entrepreneur is a person who takes a risk to start or expand a business. In the United States, our market economy allows us the opportunity to be innovative and create goods and services to make our world a better place. Capitalism.com says the one thing that sets great capitalism apart is vision. My vision is to start a business with my little sister to sell delicious pastries. I feel like it would be a good business because, 1, it's a new place, and 2, I feel like we wouldn't be comfortable just working at any fast food place. Will you be my first customer?
Nehemiah, do you have a tree in your backyard that grows money?
I wish, but money does not grow on trees. 4 years ago, I had the opportunity to stand on this stage and share the economics I learned about in kindergarten. I knew that money was earned by resources for the goods they produce or the service they provide. I also knew that money could be spent or saved or shared. But I now know that money can be invested too. With the stock market game, I am learning about a strategy to buy low, sell high. My team is looking at financial charts to try to predict when the stock prices are low in hopes that they might go up again. We noticed that one of our stocks kept going down and we had 1,000 shares. So we felt like we had to sell it before it went too low, and then the very next day it started going up. We regretted selling it so soon. As you all know, the stock market changes from day to day. My team has gone from 4th to 238th to 20th to 11th and now 277th. It's been quite the roller coaster ride. We have made a few wise investments in companies that we have researched and purchased stock in 9 companies. Our portfolio is very diverse. We have invested all the cash we started with, $100,000. The stock that is doing the best for us is Uniquire NV, which is a company that produces alkaline water, so I say, please drink more bottled water. There are still a few more weeks left in the game, so if anyone, Mr. Stevens, would like to help a guy out with some stock tips, I will certainly take them back to my team. We are currently in last place. And we need a miracle to win.
So I'd like to wrap this up by saying you are right on the money to support economic education in Arkansas. Thank you for the contributions that you have made to Economics Arkansas. We hope you will consider to support them, because at Economics Arkansas, they support Arkansas teachers who support Arkansas students, because
We are the future decision makers.
We are the future business leaders.
And we are the future productive citizens.
We are the future of our global economy.
thank you all so much. Thank you.
Tough to follow that, but I'm not going to talk about apples anymore because I lost you last time I did that. I would like to introduce Bill Dillard, who's going to come up and say a few words about Warren Stevens. Bill's the chair and chief executive officer of Dillard's, Inc. He's the oldest son of retailing pioneer William T. Dillard, founder of Dillard's Department Stores. Bill began working part-time in his father's retail operations while still in school. In 1966, he graduated from the University of Arkansas, and 2 years later earned a Master's of Business Administration from Harvard University. He began his career at Dillard's in 1967, and he joined the company's board of directors the same year. He succeeded his father at Chief Executive Officer in 1998 and was named chair of the company in 2002. A good friend of our honoree, let me ask Bill Dillard to come to the stage to share some remarks about Warren Stevens.
Those kids were great, weren't they? That was, you're right. Hard to follow that. I moved to Little Rock in 1964, and I was a sophomore at the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, and I think the first person I ever heard of was named Stevens. When we moved here in the summer, I heard of Whit Stevens, and then right after that, Jack Stevens. And, the Stevens family has meant so much to Arkansas. It's just unbelievable. I was thinking about trying to list all the things that Warren's done for the state. And the truth of the matter is, the list is entirely too long to sit up here and name them all. We'd be here all afternoon if I could tell you all about all the things Warren does for the state. But suffice to say, the state's very fortunate to have Warren. One of his newest projects, if you think back of the things that Warren's been responsible for, start with the baseball park across the street, and then a couple of years ago, a friend of mine dragged me out to a Trojan game, and I've become a big Trojan supporter, and we wouldn't have a place to play if it wasn't for Warren and his father. They told me his story. Warren Simpson told me his story about how they came to fund that project. He said they had been talking about it, and one day, Jack called him in and said, it's the end of the year, I need to make some charitable contributions. He said, we've got a great project here for UALR. And they called him and said, hey, Jack said we'd do that. And if any of you haven't tried going to a Trojan game, I tell you, you'll enjoy it. It's everybody would, if they would go out there, you'd find it's a good experience. You can run out there and back in 2 or 3 hours, and it's great. But one of the last projects that Warren has been involved in is the across the street. We've got the Sam Walton Executive Education Center that they started in the last few months, and about 2 years ago, I guess, they had a breakfast that Warren organized and talked about, trying to get this thing started. And I had the distinct impression that it was, something Warren had done. And I asked Warren about it yesterday. I said, Warren, what do you want me to say? And he said, I don't know, whatever you feel like. And I said, well, is it true? Would you take credit for the Executive Education Center? He said, no, I wouldn't take credit for that. He said, well, I worked on it. And I didn't believe really that answer. And I called Matt Waller up at the university yesterday and said, Matt, I had the impression that Warren was kind of the moving force in your project here in Little Rock. And he said, wouldn't be there without him. That's what, if you are around Warren, he always under-promises and over-delivers. Anyway, I think there's a video they want to show that he told me to call on the video to be shown, and I didn't talk half-hour.
One Sunday evening in 1985, Jack had a few of us at his house. And as we were leaving, he asked me to remain and said, do you have time to stay and have a cup of coffee? I said, sure. So we talked about several things, as we often did. We just talked about various and sundry items. And then he said, I plan to name Warren CEO of Stevens. I said, good. Well, he named Warren CEO of Stevens the following Friday. So I knew before Warren did that he was going to be CEO of Stevens.
We were all summoned down the street to the Coachman's Inn. Nobody, to my knowledge, had any idea what it was about.
Warren Stevens, 29 years old today, will be the new CEO of Stevens, Inc.
There we were on his 29th birthday, February 18th, 1986, and I was pregnant with our first child, Miles.
Jack knew that the company had to change. Warren was the embodiment of that change.
He was trained for the job, and at 29, Mr. Stevens realized that Warren had, integrity and discipline and a competitiveness, a desire to succeed, and he was right.
I think Warren has masterfully guided the company through the continuing evolution, and certainly more of a public face on the company than either Whit or Jack, particularly around a system of free enterprise and capitalism for the benefit not just of our company, but of our country.
And I think Warren has done a great job of taking the Stevens culture and building on it and making Stevens into an even better firm. Warren's just like Jack. He is doing the same thing in that business. He has the same qualities that his dad had.
Warren has done a fabulous job. They still have the same legacy that Jack and Whit created. You do business with them on a handshake.
Warren's he's a great human being, and he's one of the really special people in the world.
A true capitalist puts his own money at risk, not someone else's, but his. And the Stevens put their own money at risk in all types of situations. Warren Stevens continues to do the same thing.
It became apparent that young people really don't understand capitalism and free markets and how it has improved their lives and the lives of millions of people around the world. And so we've launched this website and these videos and these podcasts to help people tell the story of how their business success and in a free market capitalistic society improve the lives of themselves, their families, the people that work at those companies, but we're making progress.
Well, I think, again, it goes back to Jack, picking the right people. And I think he picked Warren, and he picked Warren after watching him for a number of years, and I think he thought he would be the right person to put in that situation. And he put him in early enough, and he could watch him long enough and help him if need be. I don't think he had to help him very much, if any, but he could watch him long enough to know that he had made the right decision in putting Warren in that.
I don't think anyone else could have led the firm like he has. No one.
We have a presentation that we'd like to make to Warren. Let me grab this, and I'm going to invite the artist, Catherine Kwan, to come up. Where's Catherine? So each year, what we do is we commission a student to do a piece of art for the Life Award recipient. And this year, Catherine Kwan is our artist. She is a 10th grade student at Episcopal Collegiate School, and her teacher, Joy Schultz, is up here. Catherine, do you want to say anything about the award? You don't have to. I didn't want to put her on the spot, but I wanted her to be able to tell you something about it. I know most of you can't see it, but they personalize these each year, and you can see the buildings in the background and Mr. Stevens here in the front. It's a really, really neat thing, and I've seen these for several years now. And Mr. Stevens, I hope you enjoy this as a memento of this award, but I would like to turn it over to you and let you make some remarks now.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, that artwork was quite a surprise, as was the video. I didn't know y'all were doing that, but thank you very much. And Bill, I always appreciate your kind words, and our friendship means a great deal to me and goes back generations. So thank you for that. I'd also like to congratulate the previous winners and thank them for their support of Economics Arkansas. I'd like to thank my family and colleagues. Many of my colleagues are here. Some of my family is here. They're very fond to remind me I'm great to come up with interesting and good ideas, and then they have to go make them a reality. And This is Capitalism is one of those, and Episcopal Collegiate's kind of another one. Not that was just my idea, but let's just say other family members have been extremely involved in both of those efforts, and of course my colleagues. Stevens wouldn't be what it is without them and all their efforts. It's also a great privilege to have the Ford family here. There are 3 generations of Fords here today at the lunch. So 2 great-grandsons of Arch Ford, Will and Sam, are here. And of course, our friendship with the Fords is kind of like the friendship with the Dillards. It goes back a very, very long way. So I want to thank them for being here, and of course their support of Economics Arkansas. And I want to thank Economics Arkansas for this recognition. It is truly an honor. And I would also like to thank them for the incredible work that they do throughout the state, and we're better off because they exist and work in our communities. And I really couldn't help but think when the students were up here and did such a wonderful job. I can't wait until y'all get to be leaders in this country and in this state and in your communities. Because let me tell you something, you know things a lot of people apparently don't right now. So I would say your future is looking great. And you know, over the last few years, I've watched and been somewhat perplexed by the lack of understanding surrounding the benefits of the free market system. You know, capitalism has been paramount in the success of this great nation. It's one of the main reasons we are, as President Reagan described America, a shining city upon a hill. The capitalist free market system is distinctly American and allows for dreams that often cannot be obtained elsewhere. And therefore, it should come as no surprise that so many other countries try to emulate our economic model. I really don't see many people trying to emulate socialism/communism, and the ones that do wind up like Venezuela, I suppose. But capitalism and free trade have lifted more people out of poverty than any other economic system in history. And it is because of this that I believe it is my duty and the duty of everyone in this room to be proponents of capitalism at a time when it and its basic tenets are clearly under attack. You know, it's easy for me to stand up and espouse the numerous advantages of the capitalistic economic system, and quite another thing to reach today's youth in a way that is relatable to them. And that is why Economics Arkansas matters. In one of our This Is Capitalism films, titled The Future of Capitalism, John Hope Bryant, founder of Operation Hope, said, and I'm paraphrasing this, he said, "To live in a free enterprise system, one must understand the rules of the free enterprise system. And there's no better way to get people to understand than educating them from an early age in the classroom." A survey by the Council of Economic Education, which Arkansas was one of the first states to join, stated in 2018 only 22 states require economics to be taught in high school, and only 17 states require personal finance to be taught. Thankfully, due in large part to the work of Economics Arkansas, our state requires both. However, we can and must do more. Only 16 states require standardized testing for economics and 7 for personal finance. At this time, Arkansas is not one of those states, but rest assured that is one of the goals of Economic Arkansas, and I strongly believe should be our shared mission. By not only educating our students, but requiring standardized testing, we can help to ensure that they are receiving the best possible economic education. In 2012, the Program for International Student Assessment evaluated the financial literacy of roughly 30,000 teens from more than 18 countries. 1 in 6 American students failed to demonstrate minimal knowledge in financial literacy. In addition, American students fell in the middle of the 18 countries, right behind Latvia. I highly doubt our performance since that study has improved. To me, it is unacceptable that the country that produced Henry Ford, Steve Jobs, Sarah Blakely, and Sam Walton does not provide the fundamentals of financial literacy as part of its nationwide core curriculum. Make no mistake, this is a national crisis, but all is not lost. It is a privilege to be part of a capitalistic society, but with every privilege comes responsibility. And we need to demand better for future generations and provide them with the tools and facts to operate in and fully understand the free enterprise system. We must supply our teachers with the right materials and support them through educational development. We have to support organizations like Economics Arkansas, whose mission will not only help thousands of students, but also the economic prosperity of our state and ultimately our country. Thank you all for this honor. I am extremely grateful, but also invigorated about the future in all the possibilities in educating young Arkansans, and in my opinion, the opportunities are limitless. Thank you.
Everybody rise, please. Let's give him another hand. Warren, thank you so much for those comments. And I just want to emphasize to you how appreciative we are at Economics Arkansas for your partnering with Economics Arkansas, and we too look forward to a future of working together towards capitalism and the free market system. It's so important, as you said, and I think that's why all of us who are involved with Economics Arkansas are, and we welcome you to the club. We really do. We have one more honor that we want to bestow today. Kathleen made mention of it earlier. Jim Wooten is a longtime board member of Economics Arkansas. He served on the board for 40 years. And Mr. Wooten is here today. Where are you, Jim? There you are. We're so glad you're here today. And Jim served as chairman of the Economics Arkansas board in two separate periods, from 1983 to 1985 and from 1999 to 2002. Served a number of years on the executive committee, too many years to remember, I think. He served on the search committee for our new executive director, Kathleen, alongside several of us, and served as secretary, and he's now the secretary and treasurer of the Economics Arkansas Foundation Board, which was established in 2016. And we have a little video for you also, Jim, if we could go ahead and cue this up.
Jim